All right, guys, we are now in September. Summer's coming to a close, but the final week of August brought plenty of news in the world of New York sports. On this week's edition of the New York Sports Rapid Rundown, we're going to discuss the 3 hottest topics in New York sports, and we're going to do it with a sports content creator representing Long Island. It's my guy, Taylor Ringo. Taylor, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
What's going on, Dex? Thanks for having me, man.
No, I'm glad to have you here, man. I'm really, really glad to have you here. It's good to have you talking. You are one of the best voices in terms of sports content creation. And how you been? How's your summer? Because I feel like summer's coming to an end now. So I got to ask people, how was your summer? Because we're in September now, wrapping things up.
Well, first, that introduction is actually, you got me blushing a little bit. I actually really appreciate that. A really good sports content creator. But yeah, my summer's been great. Watching a lot of baseball this summer. Not great baseball, but it's now become more exciting since the summer is ending. But I just moved into the city, and things are doing well. Okay, so we got a Long Island guy in the city. You're right about the baseball. We're going to get into that. And guys, we got a lot to get into today, including beef between the Giants and the Jets. Yes, we're talking beef, football beef, that is. Nothing real serious, guys. The Yankees bringing up 2 of their top prospects to the big show. But first, we're going to start off with the New York Metropolitans. The Mets called up highly touted prospect Ronny Mauricio once the roster is expanded to 28 players. What did you make, Taylor, of the Mets making this move? And what did you think of his debut on Friday night? We had 2 hits, including a double in his first at-bat. What did you make of them making the move and what we saw from Mauricio in Game 1 from him? Well, it's about time. Mauricio has been more than ready. From last year in AA compared to this year in AAA, batting average is extremely high, less strikeouts, more walks. Mauricio has been a guy where we know he's extremely aggressive at the plate. He unfortunately expands the zone too much where he strikes out too often. But we're seeing a lot less than that. And the Mets aren't in it. They're not in it. So why not bring a kid up the month of September, get some games under his belt, and then last night he hit that 117 mile per hour double off the wall. The right fielder had no chance. He didn't even know that was going over his head. So Mauricio looked great, and we know he's a shortstop by trade, but he played second base last night. But I think he's going to be a corner outfield guy going forward.
So you think he'll be a corner outfield guy going forward? And I think the thing is, there's a lot of people like, what's his position? And that could be his position, but I think the fact that he might have some flexibility, whether you can use him at second, maybe you can use him in the corner outfield, I think that could be good for him. Another guy that the Mets called up, Baty, called him up. Now, he got sent down in August, and some Mets fans have been a little bit down on him. How big do you think this September is for the Mets third baseman? Does he have to show something here in September in your eyes?
82 games for Baty so far this season. That's a good showing, but not enough for me. He's a young kid. He's playing third base for the New York Mets. David Wright, the best third baseman the Mets have ever had. It's big shoes to fill. Obviously, there's been a lot of third basemen in front of him, but there's a lot of expectations because a highly touted third base prospect for the Mets did well before. But Mets fans need to give the kid a break. They do. This month, like I just said before, the Mets aren't in it. Not a lot of pressure. This is a great time for Baty to get really good work in. He has struggled at the plate, really, honestly, really bad this season. But we got to give the kid a break, and next season is going to be the year for Baty where we hope he starts at third base on opening day, and you give him a full season. Now, look, if he hits 240 with 15 or 20 errors at third base, then Mets fans have something to be upset about.
But you know this. You know this, Taylor.
Sure, I know this.
Some people ain't got no patience. They've got no patience at all whatsoever. But I think you are preaching the right thing with patience with these kids, and you think that should also happen with Baty.
Absolutely. Baty is a talented kid. He absolutely demolished the minor leagues, and he deserves to play in the show.
Right.
Just got to give him time.
Got to give him time.
It's a big difference between AA and AAA and the show. Yeah. That's what it is. Got to give the kid time.
That is. But, everybody expects instant results. Instantly, we are going to go on to the next topic. And the next topic is the Yankees. They made major news. They announced that outfielder Jasson Dominguez and Austin Wells would join the team coming up from AAA. Now, we know the Yankees have high hopes for Dominguez, right? AKA the Martian. I love that nickname. He tore up AAA in a short time. Were you shocked that they called him up? Because I was. I'm going to keep it real. I was shocked that they called him up so quickly after his time in AAA. And then also what was shocking was his debut. Homers in his first at-bat, the second pitch that he sees, Taylor. What did you make of all of this? The call-up of Dominguez and then what we saw from him in his first game in pinstripes?
First thing, definitely shocking. A 20-year-old in the show right now. It's happened a few times over the years. Juan Soto, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout. Those are also household names. Dominguez has had this almost like storybook approach throughout his minor league career, signing at 16 with the Yankees. So much hype. I was a little shocked by the call-up. I'm not mad about it because, like I said before about the Mets, the Yankees are battling for last place. There's nothing really like pressure-wise going on for the New York Yankees, so why not bring them up, get the fans excited. The Yankees are going to sell out either way, but now you're going to have more and more fans coming on the road and even at the home ballpark at Yankee Stadium. But Dominguez last night, I wish you could have seen me in my apartment. I was having dinner. I almost spilled all my dinner on myself.
You were going crazy.
I was jumping up and down because not only you hit a home run in your first at-bat, which he's the youngest Yankee to ever do that. Judge also did that in his first at-bat as a Yankee. But you hit a home run off of future Hall of Famer Justin Verlander. You can say what you want about the 40-year-old right now. Yeah, he's not what he once was 3 years ago. Doesn't matter. Verlander's one of the best pitchers of all time. In my opinion, the best pitcher in the last 20 years. You can battle with Kershaw, however you want to go at that. But to hit a home run opposite field with power the other way, it's exactly what the Yankee fans are hoping for and exactly what the Yankees front office is hoping for as well.
Yeah, Yankee fans are hoping that he is a part of that future. Also part of that future, you have Austin Wells, the catcher, who also came up and played as well. I think we know with Dominguez, right? Because there's been so much hype around this kid from the time the Yankees signed him at 16 out of Dominican Republic. But I have to ask you, what are the expectations in your eyes watching Dominguez, watching Wells in this final month of the season, because the team's not going anywhere? What is your expectations for both those guys, and do the Yankees need to see that they are everyday players when it comes in terms of evaluating them for 2024?
First things first, Boone, Cashman, whoever's making the lineups nowadays, you got to put all these kids in. You have to put them in. They're better than the options that the Yankees have already. But for a guy like Dominguez and Wells, even with Volpe and the other guys that are coming out throughout this month, is that you need to give these kids some time. Don't put so much pressure on them. I know that there are these highly touted prospects, and we've been looking forward to seeing them forever. You know, like a guy like Austin Wells, he is, from last year to this year, I read a scouting report from this past season, is that his catching has gone so much better over the last year, but Wells is not going to be the next Posada behind the plate. He's just not going to. He doesn't have strong of an arm. He's better defensively. His framing's got a lot better, but Austin Wells was rated the best power hitter in the Yankees farm system this past season. So you have all these these notes on all these guys. The Martian is not from here. He's not human-like. He's a switch-hitting power hitter of 20 years old. It's a lot of hype. There's almost too much hype, too much pressure for Wells and Volpe and all these young kids. Give them some time. This is the perfect time for the Yankees to call them up and give them some playing time.
See, again, you're preaching patience. It's just the New York fan. Look, we're New York fans. We're New Yorkers.
Sure.
We grew up here. We love watching New York sports. We're here talking New York sports on the New York Sports Rapid Rundown. But we know that patience sometimes is not with every fan among these fan bases.
You look at Volpe. He's batting under 220, but he's a 20-20 guy. Strikeouts are extremely high. I think he's in the top 10 in strikeouts.
Yep.
But like I said, imagine you were a young kid, Yankee fan growing up from Jersey. You were the starting shortstop in the New York Yankees. Are you going to be? Are you going to have any pressure, any nerves?
I would think you'd have some. I would think so.
Yeah. Are you going to struggle a little bit?
You probably will.
Absolutely.
It's an adjustment.
Yes. You know, if 3 years down the line he's still batting 220, then we have a problem.
Right.
But right now, let the kids have fun.
Let them have fun. Everybody wants tomorrow yesterday. Moving on to the Giants and Jets. We got to talk about this. I know you're excited to talk about this because football is very close. We are very close to the start of the NFL season, and the Jets and the Giants, they play each other in Week 8 of the 2023 season. But this week on Hard Knocks, we saw something. We saw a little chirping between Aaron Rodgers and Jihad Ward from the final preseason game between the two teams. Things got a little spicy, Taylor, a little spicy. What did you make of the trash talk between the two players, and is this good for New York football?
This is great for New York football.
All right.
And this is the first time since 2018 that Rodgers has suited up for a preseason game. So that's got to mean a lot for Jets fans. But the trash talk that we saw, I absolutely loved it. It's exactly what these New York football fans want to see, because by week 8, they're playing each other. And you don't think that trash talk is going to go away? No. And for Ward, I'm talking to you right now.
There we go.
You know exactly who Aaron Rodgers is. Come on. It's absolutely ridiculous that you said, I don't know who you are. Like, this is a future Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champ, MVP. He's still doing it now, and he's playing for the crosstown rivals. You know exactly who you are. I know the trash talk is there, but as soon as Aaron Rodgers says, I don't know who you are, you cannot come back from that. You just can't.
He had to do something, right? Like, he had to say something there. I feel like there was better than he could have said there, but he felt like he had to say something. If Aaron Rodgers says he doesn't know who you are, which I don't believe that Aaron Rodgers didn't know who he was, but I get the point that he was making. Jihad Ward can't come back and say he doesn't know who Aaron Rodgers is.
No, and also that little,
We're not buying that.
That little bump during that practice,
Right.
I mean, that was pretty unnecessary. And honestly, Ward, I don't know who you are either. Like, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't know who you are, then, like, are we going to know who you are?
Right.
I don't know. But, the thing is that the trash talk has always been a part of football, but a part of sports.
Right.
But between these two teams, it's absolutely like the icing on the cake. Like, this is exactly what football fans love.
Does it get you pumped up for that Week 8 matchup? You feel like it
100%.
adds a lot to it? And it's nice that it's in the middle of the season, right? We've seen the Giants and Jets play a lot towards the end of the season, but this one is in the middle of the season. That pumps you up for that one, though, right?
Absolutely. And the fact that, like, we saw Aaron Rodgers suit up for a preseason game, we haven't seen that since 2018. That means he is really, 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 like, he is honed in on this New York Jets team. All the starters, just about all the starters played in that game. He wanted to make it as real as possible. And that one pass to Garrett Wilson in the corner was just, like,
that was sick.
Unbelievable.
It was sick. All right, I got to ask you this, because last week we had my guy Frankie Vittorini up here, and we did some Giants and Jets hot takes. I'm not even going to say this is about a hot take. I just want to ask you a real question that I think the New York sports fan, the New York football fan, wants to know. All right, Taylor, who's the better football team in New York? Is it the G-Men or is it Gang Green, and why?
Well, I'm going to get either a lot of hate or a lot of love.
Yeah.
So I would say right now, the better team going into week 1 is going to be the New York Jets. They did just about as much as you could to make them a contender in that division. That division is extremely hard. They could easily be a 3 seed in that division, easily, or, I mean, how good the Patriots are going to be this year. But, you add in Dalvin Cook with Breece Hall as your 1-2 punch as running backs. Obviously, you have Garrett Wilson, but then you get Aaron Rodgers to become the leader of that offense. And then you have, Al Lazard, and you have Randall Cobb, and you have all these different weapons on the offensive side. We know the defense is pretty damn good, too. But when you add in that offense now, I mean, there's a lot of pressure. The Jets have far more pressure than the Giants do. Absolutely. You go out and get all those pieces. Woody Johnson wants to win. He's sick of losing. This is the time to win. You have 2 years with Rodgers. It's now or never.
All right, so you're going with the Jets as the better team over the Giants. I got to throw one last thing at you, because this guy who does a lot of great sports content creation, he's also does some stuff around sports betting. If you had to make a bet, are you throwing some money down on the Jets, who you think are the better team, or the Giants to make the Super Bowl? Would you not go? Would you stay away from both?
I'm staying away from both.
Staying away from both.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm a Giant fan. I am. And it even hurts me to say what I just said about the Jets.
I felt it in your soul, man.
But we can't be biased around it. We got to be speaking the truth. And the Giants making the playoff last year was awesome, and beating the Vikings was amazing as a Giants fan. There is some holes in that team. It's like, is Daniel Jones going to be an explosive quarterback? He just isn't. He's not turned the ball over. But what the Giants need to do is, like, there needs to be explosiveness from Barkley right off the bat if they want to contend in that division. And the Cowboys are pretty damn good. I mean, Dak had a really rough season last year, but those Eagles are a little tougher. And then with that division the Jets are in right now,
it's just a tough division.
It's just tough division.
Tough
so I'm going to keep my money where it is in my pocket.
Keep your money in your pocket. Hey, not everybody is able to do that. They can't keep their money in their pocket. Sometimes people go with their heart. You're not. See, you'll be an honest fan there. I like that. You'll be an honest fan there. This was fun, man.
Thanks, man.
I appreciate you coming on. It was really good to have you on here. Please, Taylor does a great job. Go follow him. The sports content that he creates is absolutely fantastic. One of the best voices around in New York sports. That's my guy, Taylor Ringgold. Taylor, we got to do this again. Got to get you back on the New York Sports Rapid Rundown.
Absolutely. I would always love to come in here and talk sports with you.
Well, it was the first time we got you in here. We had done some other stuff remotely, but it's a different vibe when you come into the studio.
It's a better vibe in studio.
I like that. It's a better vibe. It's a good vibe when you come around here. Excited for football season. Hopefully we have some good baseball to talk about through the month of September with the young guys, and we'll do that. Again, that is Taylor Ringgold. I'm Dexter Henry. Until next week on the New York Sports Rapid Rundown. Peace, guys.